Open a savings account today and put in $100. Leave it alone for a year. You'll barely notice the difference. But the real answer is far stranger than that. Now imagine two countries start at nearly the same wealth. One grows just 2% faster every single year than the other. That doesn't sound like much, but run the math forward. At 2% growth, an economy doubles roughly every 35 years. At 4%, it doubles in under 18. Play that forward for a century, and one country isn't twice as rich. It's often 10 times richer. That's not luck. That's compounding, quietly rewriting the entire map of the world. In 1968, a sociologist named Robert Merton studied why famous scientists got credit for discoveries even when junior researchers did the same work. He called it the Matthew effect, named after a line in the Bible, "To those who have, more will be given." Merton was describing careers. Economists later realized the same pattern governs entire nations. Small early advantages don't stay small. They compound. Economist Thomas Piketty spent years digging through centuries of tax records across dozens of countries. His conclusion is deceptively simple, often written as one small formula: R is greater than G. When the return on capital grows faster than the overall economy, wealth concentrates. Not because rich countries work harder, because money that already exists multiplies faster than money that has to be earned. So where did the first advantage even come from? That's where it gets uncomfortable. Economists Darren Acemoglu and James Robinson found the clearest proof of this by looking at one divided country. In 1945, Korea split into two. Same language, same culture, same history up to that exact point. What differed afterward was institutions, the boring stuff, courts that actually enforced contracts, property that couldn't just be seized, rules that applied to everyone instead of a favored few. One side built that system, the other didn't. Today, income per person on one side is roughly 20 times higher than the other, despite identical starting conditions just 70 years earlier. The starting line was never actually about culture or geography. It was about institutions. And once that gap opened, ordinary compounding did the rest. Does that sound familiar? It should, because the same math runs inside your own bank account. Someone who inherits a small investment early doesn't just start ahead. They start compounding decades before someone who has to save from zero. Save $100 a month starting at 25, and by retirement, that 10-year head start can end up worth more than doubling your monthly savings later in life. Give both people the exact same effort, the exact same discipline. The one who started earlier still wins, almost every time. Economist Robert Solow modeled this back in the 1950s. Growth isn't just effort, it's capital building on capital, technology building on technology, each layer only possible because the layer before it already existed. You've probably felt a smaller version of this yourself. Two people get the same raise. One already owns a home. One is still renting. A year later, their finances look nothing alike, even though their paychecks were identical. That's not a personal failure. That's compounding doing exactly what it always does, at every scale, from one bank account to an entire hemisphere. So the next time you open that savings account and watch $100 barely move, remember what you're actually looking at. Not a small number. The starting line of a canyon that, given enough time and enough of a head start, never quite closes.